Robin Williams stopped an entire movie production because his co-star was crying, and the reason will break your heart. For 30 years, Sally Field kept a secret about Robin Williams that nobody knew. Not the media, not his fans, not even his closest friends. But in August 2024, she finally told the world what really happened on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire in 1993. This story changes everything you thought you knew about Robin Williams. It shows a side of him that was hidden from everyone, a side that makes his tragic death even more heartbreaking. You see Robin Williams as the funny guy who made you laugh, the genie from Aladdin, the crazy teacher from Dead Poets Society, the dad who dressed up as a woman to see his kids. But what Sally Field revealed shows Robin was something much more powerful than a comedian. He was a man who could see pain that others tried to hide. And when he saw that pain, he did something that most people, especially famous people, would never do. Let me take you back to 1993. Mrs. Doubtfire is being filmed. Robin Williams is the biggest star on set. He's not just acting in the movie, he's also the producer, which means he's the boss. The movie has a huge budget, hundreds of people working, and a tight schedule. Every day costs thousands of dollars. Changing the plan for even one day can create huge problems. Sally Field is playing Robin's ex-wife in the movie. She's a professional actress who has been working since she was young. She knows how to handle pressure and how to keep working even when things get tough. But on this particular day, something happens that tests her in a way she never expected. Sally gets terrible news. Her father has died. He had been sick for a while after having a stroke and was living in a nursing home, but his death still comes as a shock. Now anyone who has lost a parent knows that feeling. The world stops. Nothing else seems to matter. Your heart breaks in a way that feels impossible to fix. But Sally is at work. There are cameras, lights, crew members, and schedules to keep. The professional thing to do is to keep working. Push through the pain. Deal with it later. So that's exactly what Sally decides to do. She tries to hide her grief and continue filming as if nothing happened. Here's where the story gets amazing. Robin Williams notices something is wrong. While everyone else on set is busy with their jobs, Robin sees that Sally is hurting. He doesn't ignore it. He doesn't pretend not to notice. He doesn't think it's not his business. Instead, he does something simple but powerful. He pulls Sally aside and asks her one question: "Are you okay?" When Sally tells him about her father, Robin doesn't just say he's sorry and move on. He doesn't tell her to be strong or that the show must go on. Instead, he makes a decision that shows who he really was as a person. He goes straight to the director, Chris Columbus, and tells him they're changing the entire shooting schedule, right now, today. Think about what this means. This is a major Hollywood movie. Changing the schedule costs money. It creates problems for everyone. It means other actors have to wait. Crew members have to adjust their plans. Equipment rentals get extended. Everyone's day gets turned upside down. Most stars, even the nicest ones, would never do this. They might feel bad for their co-star, but they wouldn't stop an entire production. But Robin Williams did exactly that. He told the director to film scenes that didn't need Sally. He made sure she could leave the set, go home and grieve for her father without any pressure to perform. He gave her the time and space she needed to say goodbye properly. The most incredible part, Robin didn't make a big deal about it. He didn't announce it to everyone. He didn't use it to show how important he was, or how nice he was. He just quietly fixed the problem and moved on like it was the most normal thing in the world. Sally Field kept this story secret for 30 years. She only told it in 2024, 10 years after Robin died. She said Robin was very sensitive and intuitive, and that this showed a side of Robin that people rarely knew. This tells us something important about Robin Williams that changes how we see him. Most people saw Robin as this crazy, energetic guy who was always on, always making jokes, always moving, always entertaining. But the people who worked with him closely saw something different. They saw a man who paid attention to others in a way that was rare, especially for someone so famous. Robin had a special ability to read people. He could tell when someone was sad, even when they tried to hide it. He could see when people needed help, even when they didn't ask for it. And unlike most people who might notice but not act, Robin always did something about it. This wasn't the only time Robin showed this kind of kindness. People who worked with him tell similar stories all the time. He remembered everyone's name on every set, from the biggest stars to the people who brought coffee. He would talk to crew members during breaks, asking about their families and their lives. He noticed when people looked tired or stressed, and he would find ways to cheer them up. Robin also used his fame to help people in bigger ways. He was one of the founders of Comic Relief USA, which raised millions of dollars to help homeless people. He supported programs that taught people to read, helped veterans, and worked with disabled people. But he didn't just write checks. He showed up. He spent time with people. He made them feel important. Robin especially cared about soldiers and veterans. He traveled to dangerous places to entertain troops, often paying his own way and not telling the media about it. He visited wounded soldiers in hospitals, spending hours talking with them. These weren't photo opportunities. They were real moments of connection with people he wanted to help. All of this makes what happened to Robin even more tragic. In May 2014, doctors told Robin he had Parkinson's disease. This was devastating news, but it wasn't even correct. After Robin died, doctors discovered he actually had something called Lewy body dementia. This disease attacks the brain in terrible ways. It causes memory problems, anxiety, depression, fear, confusion, and hallucinations. Imagine being Robin Williams and suddenly not being able to trust your own thoughts. The brain that made him famous, that let him make millions of people laugh, that helped him see when others were in pain, was now playing tricks on him. He was fighting an enemy he couldn't see or understand. At the same time, Robin's career was struggling. His TV show, The Crazy Ones, got canceled in 2014. For someone whose whole identity was built on making people happy, this rejection must have felt terrible. He was also dealing with personal changes, including a divorce and a new marriage, which added more stress to his life. The man who stopped a movie production to help a sad coworker was now battling problems that no amount of kindness from others could fix. The same sensitivity that made him so good at helping others might have made his own pain even worse. On August 11, 2014, Robin Williams died by suicide at his home in California. He was 63 years old. The world was shocked. Millions of people felt like they had lost a friend. Other comedians cried on television. The president made a statement. Social media filled with people sharing their favorite Robin Williams memories. But Robin's death also started important conversations about mental health and how we treat people who seem happy on the outside. It reminded everyone that the person who makes you laugh might be the one who needs help the most. Sally Field's story about the changed movie schedule is important because it shows us who Robin really was when nobody was watching. Yes, he was incredibly talented. Yes, he was funny. But more than that, he was kind in a way that cost him something. He used his power to help people, even when it was inconvenient or expensive. This teaches us something valuable about how to treat people. How many times do we notice that someone seems upset but decide not to get involved because it's awkward or inconvenient? How often do we accept it when someone says, "I'm fine," even though we can tell they're not? Robin's example shows us that we should pay attention and act when we see someone hurting. The story also shows us something about leadership. Real leadership isn't about having power over people. It's about using that power to help people when they need it most. Robin could have expressed sympathy for Sally's loss and continued filming. Nobody would have blamed him. Instead, he chose to act, to sacrifice time and money for basic human decency. Robin's sensitivity was both his greatest strength and his biggest challenge. The same ability that let him instantly see Sally's pain and respond with immediate help also made him feel the world's pain more deeply than most people. People who are very sensitive often absorb sadness and hurt from everyone around them. 10 years after Robin's death, his impact continues. His children talk about how he still inspires them every day. His movies still make new generations laugh and think. The Genie still introduces kids to the magic of imagination. Mr. Keating still teaches students to seize the day. Mrs. Doubtfire still shows parents what love for their children really looks like. But maybe the most important thing Robin left behind was his example of how to treat other people. In a world that often feels mean and divided, his story reminds us that small acts of kindness can have huge impacts. A movie schedule changed for a grieving friend. A crew member's name remembered. A veteran in a hospital made to smile when they thought they couldn't anymore. These weren't big gestures that made headlines. They were quiet moments that showed Robin's real character. They proved that the best way to honor his memory isn't just to remember his comedy, but to copy his compassion. Sally Field's revelation 30 years later teaches us something else important. Kindness often has effects we never see. Robin probably never knew how much his gesture meant to Sally. He acted out of instinct and caring, not expecting thanks or recognition. He did it because it was the right thing to do. This is maybe the most important lesson from Robin Williams' life.
Real kindness doesn't need an audience. It doesn't expect rewards. It acts because someone needs help. It loves because love is the most powerful thing we have to heal a hurting world. We all have chances to be like Robin Williams. Not famous or talented like him, but kind like him. We can pay attention to people around us and act when we see pain. We can remember names, ask real questions, and care about the answers. We can be willing to inconvenience ourselves to help others. The next time you think someone is struggling, even if they say they're okay, remember Robin Williams on the Mrs. Doubtfire set. Remember how he saw through the professional mask to the human pain underneath. Remember how he acted immediately to help. Then ask yourself, what would Robin do? Robin Williams showed us that the greatest gift you can give someone isn't laughter, though laughter is wonderful. The greatest gift is making someone feel seen, understood, and cared for when they're hurting. He gave this gift over and over throughout his life, often to people who never got to thank him. Today, 30 years after a movie schedule was quietly changed for a grieving actress, we finally know the whole story. And knowing it reminds us that our best moments often happen when nobody is watching, when there's no applause, when there's no credit given. Our best moments happen when we see another person in pain and choose to help. That's Robin Williams' real legacy. Not just the laughs he gave the world, but the love he showed to individuals. Not just the characters he played on screen, but the character he showed off screen. Not just the entertainment he provided, but the example he set for how to live a life that matters. In remembering Robin Williams, let's remember to be kind. Let's remember to pay attention. Let's remember that sometimes the most important thing we can do is ask someone if they're okay, and then be ready to help based on their answer. Because that's how we change the world, one act of compassion at a time. The man who made the world laugh taught us something more valuable than comedy. He taught us how to care. And in a world that needs more caring, that might be the most important lesson of all. Hit subscribe if this story changed how you see kindness, and share it with someone who needs to remember that their pain matters to someone.